Tonight, we gaze upon the glory of Doom. We celebrate the man, the monarch, the master of the world. We raise our cans of Monster Energy, or perhaps you possess goblets at home, which can be raised. We will look at 15 covers tonight, 15 various covers featuring the brilliance of Victor Von Doom. But we dare not judge Doom himself. But we will judge those who judge Doom, like the mentally deficient Reed Richards and his gaggle of fantastic fools. Oh no. And if any of you at home disagree with this ranking, say so in the comments, but beware, I do not suffer fools easily. So this is a random grab bag of Doom covers. It's pretty much like a potpourri. All right, let me get this hoodie off my head. This is the Pop Culture Cosmonaut. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're talking Dr. Doom. And, living on borrowed time, the clock ticks faster. That's MF Doom, who said that on the brilliant album Mad Villainy with Madlib on the beats. So we got no time to waste. Let's get to it. This is number 15 in my grab bag of Doom covers. This is his very first appearance in Fantastic Four number 5. This is in 1962, man. This is Jack Kirby and Joe Sinnott. This is a classic art team in the original days of Marvel Comics. Meet Dr. Doom as he hovers above the Fantastic Four in this very striking cover. There's a lot of dialogue here. An all-green Dr. Doom saying, "With a turn of this dial, I shall destroy the four of you forever." Forever. In his first appearance, he was already talking about forever, ever. All right. Look, they're running out of air as he turns that knob. And then the Invisible Woman, Sue Storm, tied up somewhere there on the side, trying to get in and save the rest of the Fantastic Four. It's a striking cover, although I gotta say, I'm not entirely sure what's going on. He looks like he's in a bubble or something. Human Torch is shooting a fireball at him. And then Reed is trying to reach him. So I'm a bit confused by the image, but it's still pretty damn cool. And for the first appearance of Dr. Doom, I think that sets it off in a big way. Let's move on to number 14. Now this one is moving way up in time. This is in the late 80s. 1988 to be exact, West Coast Avengers, number 35. I was reading West Coast Avengers at this time, so I remember this when it came out. Al Milgrom and Mike Macklin, I believe. I hope I'm not mispronouncing the dude's name, but Al Milgrom, who, I'll be honest, I wasn't really that impressed with his art back in the days, but he had an occasional dope cover, and I think this one fits the bill. It's the man who would be Doom, with the lightning in the background. And again, it's the colors and the contrasts work beautifully. And this was the West Coast Avengers a few years after their inception. They got Hawkeye, Mockingbird, Hank Pym, Tigra, Wonder Man, and Moon Knight. Interesting time period in their run. But Doom rules over them all. All right, let's proceed. This is number 13 on my list. This is Avengers 25, so this is going way back in time. This one is from 1965. Again, Kirby and Sinnott. They were all over the place back in the 60s, man. Enter Dr. Doom. So we've already met him. Now enter Dr. Doom. This is clearly in Latveria. You can tell by the architecture of the buildings in the back. And look at Doom proudly standing before these four Avengers, with Captain America having a pretty flat looking shield there, I gotta say. I like them later years when they added a bit more curvature to his shield, a bit more weight to it. But look at the Avengers. They're all kind of freaked out. And Doom is like, what? What do you have to say to me, to Doom? Nothing. And in the bottom here it says, in this great issue, don't miss the brief guest appearance of the Fantastic Four. I don't know why they had to specify that it was brief. But anyways, pretty cool cover. And we're going to move on to number 12 on my list. And this one is from Supervillain Team Up number 14. This came out in 1977. And this is the work of John Byrne and let me see, Terry Austin. That's right, Terry Austin was doing a lot of inks back in those days. This is the pretty early John Byrne piece of work in Marvel. Dr. Doom and Magneto teaming up, are they? Look at this. Is this the final hour? Doom Supreme. And look at all these powerful heroes. And Angel. I'm not going to include him in that category. Alright, but they're all bowing down in fealty to Victor Von Doom. And look at what he's saying here. Magneto has dared to challenge me. Bow, slaves, and show him Earth's true master. Alright. To have Hercules and Thor in particular bowing down. Damn, Doom got it made. Alright, moving on. This is the 11th on my, I hope I don't lose track of my numbers here, but yeah, this is the number 11 on my list. Fantastic Four number 60, which came out in December 1966. Once again, the super team of Kirby and Sinnott back in the 60s. You could pencil their name in for most of these classic works. The Peril and the Power. All right, look at this image, man. There's a lot going on. Sometimes I tend to downgrade covers if they have a white background, a plain white background. I don't mind in this. I feel like there's a lot going on with the other characters here that it doesn't bother me too much here. I don't know. But yeah, look at Thing and Doom. They're slugging it out. Looking like George Foreman versus Ron Lyle back in 1976. If any boxing fans remember that slugfest. Probably the most brutal heavyweight fight in all time. That's what this looks like. All right. They both got their heads down. They got their chins tucked, and they're wheeling back. And you can tell Dr. Doom's gonna hit him in the gut of the solar plexus, right in the breadbasket, as Gorilla Monsoon used to say. And yeah, look at Thing. He's tucking his head in Doom's like his collarbone area. This is some inside fighting, man. For any of y'all that like boxing, man, this is good stuff. All right, and not to mention, look at Reed wrapping his arms around Sue so that she doesn't plunge to her death. And then the Human Torch blazing his trail, coming at Doom. But I think you should let Ben Grimm handle things. This is a pretty titanic battle between those two. All right, we're gonna move on up. This is I think the 10th. Yeah, this is number 10 on my list. This is Fantastic Four 16. So I don't know if this is the second appearance of Dr. Doom, but he appeared first in Fantastic Four number 5. And this is the work of Jack Kirby and Dick Ayers. It's not Joe Sinnott this time. Dick Ayers. He was another quality artist back in the 60s in particular. All right, so it's the return of Dr. Doom, the world's most amazing supervillain. They were already giving him that title back in the early or mid 60s. Incredible. And look at this. Visit the mysterious micro world of Dr. Doom. That's why he's got the shrunken Fantastic Four in the palm of his armored hand. And you see, he's looking at them with a look of curiosity and amusement almost. All right. And look at this. It's a surprise special guest star. It's Ant-Man. And I guess this was Hank Pym. This would have been Hank Pym in one of his earlier incarnations. Giant Man, Ant-Man, Yellow Jacket, etc. But the gradient cover or background, the red fading into that pink or lavender, I think that's a pretty cool effect. If it was just if it wasn't a gradient background, I would have felt differently about it. But this is pretty sweet. All right, let's go on up to number 9. This is Fantastic 144. So this is a little bit later than some of the other ones we've already looked at. This is from 1973. Rich Buckler was the penciler here, and he has a lot of great cover art in especially the mid 70s, I found. And here it says, "When strikes the Sinister Seeker." And look at this creature busting through the wall like Kool-Aid Man, or the Juggernaut. You know, if we're talking Marvel, yeah, let's call it Juggernaut. It's more impressive. All right, and look at Doom at this console, pressing buttons, man. This is it, the final showdown with Dr. Doom. Come on, man, I'm not buying it for a second. You know that they're gonna fight him about 1,000,000 times after this. But yeah, I like this era of Fantastic Four covers. I like this word mark that you see at the top. Whenever I see it, I usually think, man, this is going to be a good cover below it. So yeah, and by the way, yeah, you see the Thing, you see Reed Richards and Medusa on the right. So this is a time period when Sue was gone, man. She was out of there. All right, let's go to the next one. This is number 8, Fantastic Four 200. And it says at the top, double the size, double the action, double the thrills. Hell yeah. And this only cost 60 cents back in 1978. Hot damn, hot diggity damn. And this is Jack Kirby, man. This is, let me see, who? Jack Kirby, Joe Sinnott, and Gaspar Saladino. He was a name you saw a lot in the 70s as well. Let me take a sip of my Monster Energy drink, by the way. I'm looking for sponsorships upon this channel. Hey, man. Hey, man. All right. So, this is the 200th issue, and it's a big-time one. And look at this battle between Reed and Dr. Doom. I like when Reed Richards looks like he can really, like, throttle you with his fist. Because why couldn't he hit you with, like, just clobber you with something, man? Look at that. I don't want to get hit by a dude if he's got a fist expanded like that. So and one thing about Kirby's work in the 60s especially, he was great at like otherworldly machinery, you know, surrounding his villains. Look at what's there in the background to the left. Like, what is that? Doesn't even matter, man. That stuff looked cool as hell back in those days. So it more than makes up for a lot of the flaws. This was late 70s Kirby. If you see some of his work on Captain America or Black Panther, I wasn't really feeling much of that. Not at all, man. And to my young eyes, it took me a while to really develop an appreciation for Kirby. But I gotta say, this is a striking cover, and it's worthy of a 200th issue, which is, you know, a pretty high thing to measure up to, I think. Okay, let's proceed. Look, we're looking at number 7 on my list. This is in the Iron Man 150, and this was in 1981. And this was a double-sized issue. See, when Dr. Doom hits the scene, you gotta double up on the pages. There's a lot of story, and it's gonna take you twice as long to defeat him compared to any other villain. So don't be surprised when they got him for these big issues. But simple black background, it don't matter, baby. Look at this, Iron Man and Dr. Doom facing off. One thing, this is John Romita Jr. In his earlier years, and Bob Layton on inks. Bob Layton brought that glitter, that shine, that glow to Iron Man's armor in the late 70s and 80s. And he's bringing some of that shine to Dr. Doom. Sometimes Dr. Doom's armor doesn't shine at all. It can be pretty dull at times, which works for the character too. But, you know, why wouldn't he have some shiny armor sometimes, you know, locked up somewhere that he can bust out? Why not? And look at this. You can tell this is going to be a big big fight going down. This is when they're trapped in the time-lost land of King Arthur. Iron Man battles Dr. Doom. Hot damn, you know this is a good issue right here. All right, we're gonna move on to number 6 on my list. This is in 1971. This is a full 10 years before the last one we just looked at. This is an era of Marvel covers where they had that border at the top, the left margin, and the bottom. To me, it gives it a look like a novel, like a book. And I think it produced a lot of dope covers, and this one's no exception. This picture in the middle is, some of it is a little bit sloppy, I can kind of say, if I'm nitpicking. Some of the details on Doom's hand I find a little odd, but ultimately it doesn't matter. The composition of this image is so crisp. And having Reed Richards replaced by Dr. Doom? What in the world is going on here? But I like how the other Fantastic Four members are presented here. The Thing, Ben Grimm, rushing forward. And look, Dr. Doom's got his hand behind him. It's almost like he's patting him on the back. Like, come on, Ben. You know, we can do it. Under the tutelage of Doom. You know, Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, looking under control, the way he's flying forward like that. It's pretty smooth. And Sue Storm, she's often, you know, looking worried and concerned in the background until she realizes, hey, I might be the most powerful person here. Okay, and then she puts her work in her powers into action. But yeah, they're on shaky ground. And there's this monster's shadow in the foreground here, and it reads below, the Alien, the Ally, and Armageddon. All right, back in the early 70s, man, they knew how to sell comics with excitement. They might have been a bit formulaic in the way they presented things, but I don't care. I think this worked, man. This is a beautiful cover. All right. By the way, this is a time for me to mention, I've done another video on Fantastic Four covers, okay? And some of them were Doom covers, for sure. I might not want to rehash them here, so some of the videos I presented, some of the covers I presented in that video, you might not see here. So don't come at me saying I forgot one of them. I'm just gonna say, watch that other video, man. You know what I'm saying? Watch it. All right. So now we're on to we're into the top 5. This is Fantastic Four 58. This is going way back in time. This is October of 1966. Once again, it's Jack Kirby, Joe Sinnott, and Stan Goldberg. Whenever I say Goldberg, you gotta say it like the wrestler, man. Smoke coming out of everywhere. It's Goldberg. All right, but look at this, man. The dismal dregs of defeat. The dejected members of the Fantastic Four, with their heads hanging low. And that's Wyatt Wingfoot in the front left foreground there. And look at Doom, man. He's striking a pose in the air like, you got served. You got served. I got you. I got your behind, baby. You know, he's just stunting on him. He's flexing on the Fantastic Four. And look at this. It's amongst wreckage and debris and smoke and dust. And it just looks like he is brilliantly, shining and levitating in the air. This looks like total victory for Doom. All right, you gotta love this, man. Okay, we're now into the top 4. Look at this one. This is number 199. All right, so this is from 1978, one of the later issues represented here on this list. All right, and check it out. This is by Keith Pollard. His name coming up for the first time on this list, and Joe Sinnott on the inks. Interesting cover where it says here, what is the startling secret of the son of Dr. Doom? He's got a son? God damn, this is a Maury Povich situation. Get that DNA, get the paternity test, Victor. Who's the mother? Okay, and here he's saying, to rule the world, I must slay my own son. What a conundrum, Doom. All right, and then what is his son here saying, "If you do, then you shall die as well." His son speaks like a supervillain, but evidently his son in this issue was basically a clone, all right, who took up the title of Doom's son. But look at what he's got the body, like the texture of the Thing. Okay, he's blasting Doom with heat. All right, I'm sure he can stretch and turn something invisible, but he's got the combined powers of the Fantastic Four. So this is a pretty serious test for Doom, physically and emotionally. And look at the Fantastic Four on the ground here, or at least 3 of them. Oh yeah, no, sorry, you can see Johnny Storm's head in the background. But the Thing, Sue Storm, and Reed, mostly there. On the ground, wondering what the hell, do we get involved or do we wait this out? But this is a big time cover, man. I love this. All right, now we've entered the top 3. All right, so this one is Uncanny X-Men 145. This came out in 1981. I love this cover, man, where Dr. Doom has defeated all of the X-Men while holding a buxom-looking Ororo Monroe in his arms. She's looking, well, somebody mentioned in one of my other videos that she's kind of out and like laid out and, you know, out of it in a lot of covers. I guess that's true for such a powerful mutant, but he done took out everybody, man. Look at Wolverine. He's sliding downstairs, man. He's totally stretched out and done for it. Colossus, Doom's got his foot planted straight on Colossus's back. Colossus is finito, man. Nightcrawler, I think he might be faking it. He looks like he's doing that dramatic fainting that, you know, some lady might do in some old school period drama romance. Holding his hand over his forehead. I don't buy it, Kurt Wagner. I think he's kind of, you know, playing it up. And then Angel face planted in the background. Again, I'm gonna keep saying, what you gonna do, Angel? What you gonna do to Dr. Doom? Just fly away, man. Go fly away for help, like a passenger pigeon. I think that's Angel's biggest value. The X-Men's passenger pigeon. All right, but anyways, Doom has raised his goblet in his left hand. And once again, I'm raising my Monster Energy can I'm looking for money, man. Pay me, cut the check. Monster Energy, I drink a lot of these, man. I need to start getting a cut. I'll be spending money on these. Anyways, yes, Uncanny X-Men. This is the work of Dave Cockrum, all right, and Joseph Rubinstein. But you know, Dave Cockrum was there from the 70s revival in 1975 when the X-Men came back with the new lineup. Check those videos out too, which I've done on this channel before, not too long ago. We're now on to number 2. Oh man, this one, I will always remember this one. This is Secret Wars number 10. Number 10, okay, and this came out in 1984. I remember this when I was a kid. I never read this issue. I never read any Secret Wars because I didn't care for Beyonder or, you know, those like omnipotent characters that could do anything. I never liked that kind of stuff, even from when I was a little kid. But man, this cover is, this is the work of Mike Zeck and Terry Austin. I love Mike Zeck's work in the early 80s. He's one of the best artists of the early 80s, in my humble opinion. And I always loved this cover. Doom's armor has been shredded. Absolutely, he's gutted, man. He's got barely anything functional left anymore, all right? But Doom is willing to keep fighting the Beyonder. So without whatever abilities or powers he has left in his gauntlets or whatever's there left in his armor, he's willing to use it. And this is one of the most heroic, dare I say, depictions of Doom I've ever seen. You know, like, you don't see supervillains depicted this way. very often on covers or in panels or whatnot. And that's a unique thing about Doom. He's the quintessential supervillain, but he has these admirable qualities too. This cover, I think, totally captures that. All right, we are now on to our number one cover that honors Victor Von Doom. And this one, I don't care if it surprises some of you. I don't give a damn. I don't give a doom. It is Marvel Superheroes number 20 presents Dr. Doom. And this is from 1969. This is the work of Larry Lieber and the often maligned, the much maligned Vince Colletta. A lot of people hated on his inking work back in those days as being very rudimentary and simple, but I'm telling you, I think it works like magic on this cover. I love everything about this cover. Whenever I did this ranking, this one kept creeping up and up and up over all the other ones, even the more detailed, the more complex, or the other ones that had more story info in it. I don't care. This, to me, is Doom. This captures Doom. The pose, the planets and stars in the background. This calls to the sheer magnitude of the power of Victor Von Doom. I love it, man. And look at this fury in that pose. To me, it makes me think the rent is too damn high. It reminds me of that dude. The rent is too damn high. Because this is what I feel like I'm doing every time my mortgage payments come out my account, man. I'm like, no. All right. Or it reminds me of, you remember that chick back in the day? I'm mad as, what was it? Stop the Madness. Stop the Madness. That bald chick that used to be on TV in the 90s. Yeah, or the movie Network. Remember, I'm mad as hell and don't want to take it and can't take it anymore. That old dude that basically had an aneurysm on TV and died in that old movie Network with Faye Dunaway, who I dislike deeply. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But Doom on this cover, it shows he rules the universe in his own mind, at least. All right. But he's willing to throw down and lay down the gauntlet against anybody, any so-called heroes. All right. Doom rules supreme. So there you go, everybody. That would be 15 high-quality covers of Dr. Doom. Now, let's be honest. I don't know how many covers feature Dr. Doom. It could be hundreds in Marvel history. I'm sure there are others that I missed. I'm sure that there are others that you can argue are better than some of these or all of these. That's all good. That's all gravy. If you got an opinion on any Doom covers, say so in the comments, man. But keep the tomfoolery and foolishness to a minimum. All right? Make your point, make it clear, and make it smart, or else the crushing power of Doom's rule will crush you, I guess. Yeah, there you go. That's the ticket. All right, so there you go. We're going to walk out of here, and I'm going to leave you again. Give a listen to MF Doom in case you didn't really peep that hip-hop legend. R.I.P. MF Doom. All caps is how you say the name. So we are out of here, the pop culture cosmonaut. We done.